Welcome to the Health Coach Nation podcast. My name is Hailey Rowe, and I'm a sales and marketing coach and LinkedIn lead generation service provider. I work with health, life, and mindset coaches and online service-based business owners to help them get more sales, shift their time to the client-generating activities instead of just the busy work, and overcome that social media overwhelm. Let's get into the show. Are you finding that you're consuming a lot of business and marketing trainings and podcasts only to find that you just don't have enough time to implement it? If so, I want to invite you to my upcoming free live Q&A and class where I'm going to be breaking down the top 5 mistakes that are blocking your sales, how to remove those distractions and be able to attract more clients, working smarter with some actionable steps. I'm not going to be putting a lot of fluff in this. I'm going to be actually helping you take action to improve your sales this year, even in our changing economy, and do it with confidence in your sales, in your offer. And if you're not sure about your niche or other things like that, bring your questions. It's going to be on February 20th on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. Pacific. Can't wait to see you there. You can sign up and save your spot at haileyrowe.com/5steps, all one word. And when you sign up and come live, you're going to be able to get my weekly business planning template that I normally use with clients to help them flesh out their weekly plan. And if you book a call with me within a specific time frame, you're going to get a little bit of a client attraction audit. So you'll see that on the thank you page when you sign up. But go to haileyrowe.com/5steps, and I'll talk to you soon. I am live today with the delightful Hunter, and Hunter is an emotional eating coach, and she has a background in the psychology of eating. She's going to share more about her story and her journey, but I've had the pleasure of meeting Hunter, and she has been a client in the inner circle and now private coaching, and I love working with her. She's somebody who really cares about her clients. She is very dedicated to her business, her faith, her family, and I love seeing her just lead with value. And Hunter, thanks so much for being here today.
My pleasure.
So I want to get started and just have you share, how did you get into coaching in the first place, and what made you want to pursue coaching and having a group program and things like that?
Sure. Well, my story comes from my story because I have a personal path with this, because I grew up with a very unhealthy relationship with food, and struggled with my weight, struggled with thinking about food and weight a long time. And it would take up a lot of my brain space. And when I found freedom and was able to get off that yo-yo dieting and to develop a healthy relationship with food, landed a right-sized body, then I wanted to give that freedom to other people so they could get on with the rest of their life. And so I decided to start coaching, and it's been the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done.
I love that. That's amazing. And one of the things that when you came to me, you were dealing with was just feeling like maybe a little bit overwhelmed with online. And tell me a little more about kind of where you were at before our coaching, what you were confused about, why you reached out in the first place.
Well, even before I started coaching, I didn't ever think I would be a coach. I sure didn't think I would be an entrepreneur. I don't feel like I have an entrepreneurial mindset in the sense of making all the decisions, working for myself, having to kind of do it all. And all that, after years of trying that by myself, was weighing on me. And all of it was weighing on me because there was so much that always could be done and always feels urgent. And it felt like that I lacked a lot of the skills that I needed to move forward. And so I was just feeling like I needed help. And I know I work better with help anyway. And so I decided to take the plunge.
Nice. Yeah. And I think one thing to recognize as entrepreneurs is we have to pay attention to how we work best. And some people work best when they have a community or they have support. And I know one of your things was, I really like to voice things out. And I remember so many of and we're still have some of our private work to continue together. But even just up until this point, a lot of times I get voice notes from you, and it's good to just like brainstorm together and work things out. And so what were some of the things that you were looking for when looking into a coach and, some things that have been helpful for you so far?
So much of what you just said, partly that I'm a verbal processor and keeping up inside my head is not as productive. So when I have someone to discuss something with, then I get to the solution a lot quicker. And I also wanted to enjoy my business more because again, that back end part was not enjoyable for me. So being able to work through it with someone helps me enjoy it more. I have someone else to talk to about my business. And then the main thing I needed was direction because I felt like there were so many different directions I could go. And I wanted to help from a professional who could help me see where the potential was, where I was being realistic, and where I really did have potential, and just help me with which step to take next.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's natural to, when you're not an entrepreneur, you don't have sales and marketing skills, it's normal to not know what to do or what to focus on because there's a lot of information out there and a lot of different things you could do and a lot of options. And so part of our work together was actually, and I think this is something that everybody could do, is like you had a priorities list and together we would look at it and be like, let's move this to later. Let's do this right now. And you'd even send me sometimes like, here's my 3 steps for the day to just stay narrow and focus. So what were some of the things that maybe are were challenges to you before coaching versus things that you've gained confidence in and things that you are doing better now in your business?
Well, I have some mindset issues when it came to sales and marketing. And even though I know that I'm a valuable coach who has brought value and I can see that, it was hard for me to present that and hard for me to have confidence in presenting that. And that was a major part, was just saying, how can I present this in a way that I feel comfortable, but is telling the truth and also present the value. And then again, not a lot of knowledge in marketing, just enough actually to make me feel like I'm doing it wrong. That's the amount knowledge that I had and make me second guess everything that I was saying. And so that was a challenge for me. And then going through the process of presenting what I could offer to them, especially like in a discovery call, it was there, but it really needed more of a framework. And then even though again I was confident in what I do, not confident in the process, especially as an entrepreneur. So I needed someone to help me, just key in on where the strengths were and to help me just gird up those weaknesses where it wasn't so crippling or almost paralyzing me from moving forward because I wasn't sure where to go and what was the wise choice.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. And even one of the things that has been exciting is seeing you book over 15 clients, whether it's in your group or private. And tell me about like some of the wins that you've had since you've had more direction and coaching.
Well, there are many. It really did turn everything around quickly because one of the things was moving from just one-on-one client one-offs, but to packages, and understanding how not only was that better for me to know what my schedule was and to be able to book those clients, but it was better for them. So it was like a win-win to go to packages. And then to be able to um, put a dream into reality to run a group program was amazing to me because not only did I increased my number of clients, I increased the number of sessions. So it was like I was being able to reach more people and then also staying with the people that I had for longer where they could see that transformation. And then obviously there were many benefits from having more clients and more sessions when it comes to income and return on investment, which helps with confidence and helps you be able to outsource more things that you're not good at.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things you have been doing more is outsourcing.
Mhm.
So that was a scary process for you, I think, because we always have that thought, and I have this too, where we think, well, nobody's going to be able to do it like me, or I don't know how I'm going to be able to find someone, or even like I can't afford somebody right now. I got to
Mhm.
bootstrap and whatnot. So, what was some of the things you had to navigate in delegating, and what got you the confidence to like start doing that?
I have been under the teaching of many good mentors that have been saying to me that it's good to invest in your business. And then, so that really was helpful to hear other experts say this is a good idea. But even investing in business coaching is like, it's one of those things where you wish you'd done it a lot earlier. And one thing that I could apply was how much I believe that someone can invest in their health and what kind of turnaround that can be when they decide to invest in their health. And so when I finally made the correlation to this is like investing in my health, which I have invested so much into my health of mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, that every dime that I spent there not only was valuable, not only do I feel really good about, but had amazing return, that I could do that in other areas too, starting with a business coach, which turned, just almost everything around for me to have someone to help me. And also to have assistance in these areas that are just weighing me down where maybe I'm not even the best at doing it and it's okay. So I can spend time on the things that I am good at.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and even like just realizing you value your time so much more sometimes than money. Like, because one of the things you told me is like, I really want to be able to still be with my kids and still like you had parameters around your business. It wasn't like, I just want to book clients. It was like, no, I want to book clients, but I still want to blank, blank, blank. And
Yes.
so part of that has been like, okay, well, then let's get organized with some emails you can reuse, or let's have an assistant to help you do X, Y, Z. So, um, I think one of the mindset shifts that a lot of people have on their journey is like, it's not just about producing sales and making money. It's also, where do you want to spend your time? And does it make sense to get rid of some things if you don't want to spend your time all the time working on your business?
Right. That was something that you taught me is, well, actually, you're investing in this is actually saving you time. It's not, and saving you money, not taking up more time and taking up more money, because I wanted to work my business into my life, not my life into a business. I wanted to say, this is my life and I want to work this in, and I want to do it in a way that I feel comfortable with, that I can enjoy, and that I feel comfortable all around, from values to how I spend my time.
I love that. And one of the reasons why I think we've worked well together is you are really clear about your values, and you've been able to kind of take guidance but also make it your own and make it your own voice, and like not compromise your values and what your brand voice is. And you're speaking to your ladies and you know them so well, right? So one of the things too that I've seen in you is like becoming more organized. So like you told me something about creating a financial tracker or having just better organization skills. So can you tell us a little bit more about some ahas maybe you've had with that process?
Well, I know that I like to take the time to organize, but I really wasn't doing that. And part of my problem was I had a rushed feeling and a FOMO feeling that came up often, almost daily, where I felt like I am seeing these people succeed and I'm not succeeding like they're succeeding, and either thinking, oh my goodness, I can't do that, or I can do that, but I'm not doing that. Why am I not doing that? And that took up a lot of energy. And so things that I would stop and enjoy, to maybe might enjoy, like I don't mind doing spreadsheets and things and being organized. I wouldn't even give myself permission to do that because I thought I need to be doing this, but that's the whole thing, to slow down, to speed up. It's like, I think I was able to slow down, but that was mostly because of mindset coaching that you helped me with, of trying to get away from that rushed feeling and that FOMO feeling long enough to just breathe and say, it's okay if we do this slower and in a way that I can enjoy. And in the end, it's going to be, probably with less time, effort, and money if I go ahead and get organized. And so I was kind of given that permission that this is a good thing to work on right now, because the other problem I had was I always was wondering if I was working on the right thing. And that, so helping with the priorities, helping with the task organization, and then actually organizing and working in my business to the point that was profitable.
I love that. Yeah, definitely. And I think too, giving ourselves permission to slow down and giving ourselves permission to focus on just what we need to focus on, and not using, other people's journeys or comparing ourselves against ourselves. That's such an important lesson that you've shared. So, one of the other things though that I wanted to ask you is a little bit more about email marketing and content creation. So I know content is not your favorite thing. It's something you're still, wanting to get more into. But at the same time, you've still been able to put out some really great launch emails and, successfully launch programs without just creating content all the time. So, tell us a little bit about what you've learned about email marketing or just your journey with that. Anything you want to share to people listening who are like, oh, I hate that too, Hunter. Help me out.
Okay, I do think that it's neat again that my mentors have shown me that just taking some action is better than no action. Doing it messy is better than waiting for it to be perfect. Just doing it, trusting some of your instinct of doing it, seeing the value, even though I've been taught, I'm seeing the value of an email list and seeing the value of being able to get in touch with my audience in that way, where I can not have to say it in 30 seconds. And then I can show them that I really do care about them. And also understanding how I'm glad I can get in touch with those people in another way. And also to be able to organize my thoughts enough to at least have that come across as understanding that I care about them, but I have to do it. And I have to kind of post and ghost in the sense of I have to just put it out there and know that I had the right intention, and that if other people don't think I have the right intention, that those are not my people. It's still hard for me to do that, and to understand that unsubscribes are not a bad thing, because that means those are not my people, and to sort of trust the process and say, I am going to try to do this monthly, even if it's not, not great. I'm going to put it out there mediocre and not have to have excellence with everything, but just stay in communication with the people that I want to help.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it is easier said than done, because when we see an unsubscribe or we put our heart into our email and, we get a certain amount of response, it can be a lot to be like, oh, well, I have to keep doing that and I have to keep putting myself out there with the potential of rejection, unsubscribes, etc. But I think one thing you've been able to do and that you've just shared is like, you're not making it about you. It's just, they're not my people. They don't match with my business. They don't need what I have to offer. Maybe they don't have the problem that I solve or help people solve. So has there been any other, I guess, mindset shifts or business strategy shifts that you found useful or that you've had over these last couple of months?
I think I'm realizing that I have to even trust the process on the whole, where even trust the process that hopefully my mindset is shifting, because I can see that my mindset is shifting, and that my mindset is shifting toward understanding that sales is serving, that I'm serving them by offering a really valuable, asset of coaching and a group program, that I'm giving them the opportunity to be around people that have the same struggles as they are when they spent this whole time being alone, and that I can grow into this, and it doesn't have to be so painful, that I can just say, yeah, I'm actually not feeling like I'm much better at it than I was a year ago, but I am doing it, and also it really helped me to have a few sentences to help myself, like the ones that says, okay, I'm willing to do hard things, I'm willing to do the things that some people are not doing, it's kind of like, at least I'm doing that. I'm willing to go in front of camera, I'm willing to be vulnerable, and to really try to stop that inner critic that seems constant sometimes, and really quiet that, and to learn not to criticize myself so much, to have more compassion for myself, and to understand that's what I'm teaching to other people. So I need to do that myself, practice what I preach. And so I can see it shifting, and that's exciting, because that means there's possibility of other shifts to happen too.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of sales and sales calls, I know that discovery calls weren't your favorite thing necessarily. And also having the courage to raise your pricing on some of your offerings was a big shift. So how did you navigate that? Because a lot of people listening here feel like, I could never raise, one of the doubts you had was, well, nobody's going to pay that, or I can't do that, or because blank. So tell us about that process for you. How did you finally conjure up the courage to change your rates?
Well, I think again, to have a professional who's a professional coach, especially in sales and marketing, to tell you, yes, this is valuable, and to actually help you work through why is this, make me figure out why is this valuable, and understand that all that I've invested in myself is part of what they don't have to do, because I get to give them a shortcut and I get to share with them all these things I've learned, which is one of my favorite things to do anyway. And to start understanding that I've worked hard to be where I am, and they're getting my experience and they're getting my personal experience, and to understand the value of what I'm presenting. I think that was really helpful. And I had to keep coming back to that. Also, just hearing the affirmations of, yes, okay, this is a good idea. This is, this is good value. And even again, like looking at it practically of, yes, this makes sense. That makes sense that this is the value. And then understanding again that I am gifting them with speeding up a process where it will not take them as long that it took me. And that just having to say, okay, this is okay. And the people also understanding that when you give them an opportunity to invest, you're giving a gift to them, because now they're invested, so and I know that's the case with me, invest in business coaching, then you're going to go do what you need to do because you've made this investment. So it's actually a gift to them, to help them understand the value, and that they're worth that value, and that they could get that value, back for and more. So I think all of those things were helpful for me, and to understand that this is a process too of feeling comfortable in that. And discovery calls, it completely changed my attitude with discovery calls. I enjoyed discovery calls, but I wasn't organized, and I wasn't, when I got to the point of presenting the value is when it would all break down. It's like, it'd be a great call until it's like, oh yeah, until you get to that part. And I think it helped me go, okay, we're moving into the investment part, not just the cost, just the investment part, and to have words to say, and to have some confidence behind it, and to understand that if this person isn't ready, they're not for me. That whole process completely changed the discovery call process, and my conversion was good, but it really put it in the excellent category. Whatever you call that, I don't know what you call that, what I think is excellent conversion rate or whatever, but that I could enjoy the process of the call, because I enjoy the call and I wouldn't have to dread the very end.
Yeah, that is huge. So many people are like that, where it comes to the time about your offer, and then it's like, I talk really fast, and then I justify the price, and then So, and one of the cool things that you did too, that was a different spin on discovery calls, is you actually led a group one. And I got to watch the recording, and I was like so proud of you because of your confidence, and you led with genuine authenticity and service. And I think that's a big thing for people to realize, is like, it's not just about a script. And I do give support with, here's the general process and here's a roadmap and whatnot. But at the end of the day, your conviction and your dedication to serving is going to carry you through those tricky moments. And it was cool to see just how confident you came across leading your sales call, your group discovery call. So one of my other questions is, what are you most excited about in your business right now? What are you working on? Feel free to share that with our audience.
I get excited about working with my coaching clients and to watch them bloom, but I'm also sort of watching myself bloom. And I had a group program call today and was able to ask for assistance for someone to help me with a graphic, and get that more organized, and just to be able to present that to them, where I know that there still are rough edges, and there will always be rough edges, but a concept that I wanted to present, because I got the help with the graphic and I organized it, and I was able to present that to them and see how I'm growing, but also to see that revelation of, oh my goodness, that was so helpful, is that I get to grow alongside my clients and offer them more every single time. And so I look forward to improving the process and improving the help, the way that they can be transformed. And then I also get so much help by helping them. So I get really excited about that, because I'm getting helped by helping them, and I get the helper's high, and I get the benefits of that. And I get the inspiration from them, who are showing up and being vulnerable and doing the hard work of dealing with emotional eating and dealing with stuff that's not just, I want to lose weight. Like, it's deep stuff that sometimes has been going on all their life. And so getting that, kind of working off their courage and giving me more courage. And I love the process of making the group program better. And then how is it going to work the best for this group of people? and just refining my coaching, and to hopefully offer them more in the future, more resources, an online course, a self-paced course, tools and resources they can use to help the process of overcoming emotional eating. I think the possibilities are great, and I look forward to getting more help, and being able to get help with things like social media, where I can work with someone, and which is what I do best, is working with people. So I am excited about the future, and I'm excited that I can be in process now and didn't have to wait till it was all perfect, because I didn't think that my group launching a group program would happen in 2023. Like, I thought at best it would happen at the end of 2024. And I'm about to launch my 4th group. So that did not even know that was a possibility. That was like a dream of doing it one day. And my friend did say, "You're going to do it. It's just a matter of when." But she didn't even think that I would do it last year. We thought it would be the earliest would be this year. So I really love that I had the mentoring before I met you, and also with you, to say, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And that was fun.
Definitely. Absolutely. I think that sometimes most of the time we actually underestimate our timeline. We think, oh, I'm going to do all this in this short period of time. But in your case, it was like, no, I don't think I'm ready yet. I got to get all these things in place. And now seeing your onboarding systems are tighter, you have like a checkout, but like a lot of people listening to this also don't like tech and struggle with setting things up and whatnot. But you're an example of somebody who you did figure it out. You have your little checkout button, you have your onboarding forms, everything's organized. And so it can be done, folks. It can be done with the right mindset. So, Hunter, what would you say to somebody who maybe is on the fence about getting support in the inner circle or private coaching? Anything you'd want to say to them?
It really is just do it. Like, I think you should do it yesterday, because give it a chance. Let's just try it, because you're going to be surprised, I think, at the turnaround, and how the turnaround could be quicker than you think, maybe even from just the mental side or the enjoyment side. But you're taking what just is your expertise, and you are tripling it or quadrupling it just by investing in coaching, because now you've got both of your years of experience and both of your expertise, and also great minds work together, and you're working off each other, and so, and iron sharpens iron, the whole shebang. And you have someone in your corner, and that was what was so helpful. I needed someone in my corner, and I had someone in my corner who was responsive to help me every step of the way, that was going to be my cheerleader, that was going to hold me accountable, that was going to hold me accountable in a way that I could handle and listen to what I needed. And that is like, you don't know even how much time and money you could be saving by investing in that, because it's going to propel you forward. It's not just going to help. You might not even be feeling like you're moving forward, but it's not just going to move you forward. It's going to propel you forward, where you can be somewhere where you didn't even dream of being in that length of time, I think.
Yeah. And I think something people don't realize is, like, sometimes it's little things too. Like, I even would text you and be like, did you go to bed because you wanted to get off your computer at a certain time? Or like, did you do this? Right. So there's not just tangible things that happen, but it's also about, just as you said, having someone in your corner and having somebody to bounce something off. You don't realize, like, I'm in a program right now where I'm getting help with some of my ad stuff, and just knowing that I have someone to ask, it gives me so much more courage to go out there and try things. Cause I'm like, oh, well, if this doesn't work, I have someone I can help me pivot, and I can ask the technical questions to and whatnot. So thank you so much for donating your time to us today and sharing your story and your journey so far. I know this is just the beginning. You're still have so many awesome things you're going to be doing this year. And where can people connect with you, check you out, all the things?
Sure. The best place to connect to me would be on Instagram at hunter.eecoach. If you want to directly email, that's perfectly fine. And it's emotionaleatingcoachhunter@gmail.com. And I also have resources that I can give you, like a 4-step guide to end emotional eating, that can help you get on your way to finding freedom. And I love talking to people, so I answer my DMs personally and would love to chat with anyone. And also just to know that sometimes when you're it feels like a burden to carry around the weight of having to think about, no pun intended, but having to think about food and weight so much, and not sure don't even sure if what to do, or that this even exists, that emotional eating coaching even exists. I get that so much. Of like, I never even heard of emotional eating coaches. And I said, that's because there aren't many. But to be able to chat with someone about it, to just figure out what your next steps are, or even what your goals are, can be really helpful. So I encourage you to reach out anytime.
Amazing. Amazing. And there was one thing I wanted to, just the fact that you love talking to people. I want to just highlight something really quick. When you know your strengths, like one of the things that we did in coaching is you liked talking to people, you liked being on video more than you liked writing. So something that everybody can take away from this episode is, how can you use that? So for example, for one of Hunter's emails, instead of writing it, she made a video for them and said, hey, I made this video for you. Or you approach the group discovery call or things like that, where you can talk to people instead of having just a sales page and hoping people buy it. So I just want to leave everybody with, think about what your strengths are and how can you bring them into your business. And you don't have to do everything the conventional way just because somebody says that you should write your posts or you should write your emails instead of video or things like that. So thank you again, Hunter. I really appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, my pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. And if it's really helpful for you, I'd really appreciate if you share it and or leave a written podcast review. This tells the podcast sites that our show is useful and it will be promoted to more people that way. Thanks again.